Yo, this your boy EC22, and this is the Fairweather Fan Channel. Man, please, before we go any further, like always, like, subscribe, share, leave comments. But most of all, people, please join the conversation and we can talk about it. But let's dive right on in today. Listen, I just want to get on here real quick and just kind of go over some things that happened this week. If you haven't guessed it by now, this show is pre-recorded, so it's technically not live, even though it's showing going live. This is a pre-recorded show. So if you leave comments, I will get them later. It won't be during the live show. But please don't let that discourage you from joining the conversation by leaving comments. Please do so. Let's dive into the first topic, which is the Unrivaled League, actually. Let's talk about the Unrivaled League. Listen, Paige Beckers decided to sign a 3-year contract with the Unrivaled League, man. Let me tell you how this is such a monumental moment for women's basketball is because we know a few years ago that there was this push or this cry out for women to get paid at least equal to men or closer to equal than men. Now, granted, we know there's a lot that has to happen because, men are getting paid millions and millions on top of millions of dollars while the women are barely seeing. There's only a few women in NBA history who's cleared a combined total of $1 million in their salary. So we're not expecting them getting paid 20, 30 million a year, but they do want to get the ball rolling. And this caused a lot of controversy. And I don't understand why. Some NBA players had some issues with it. And it's like you guys getting paid 15, 30 million a year. Some getting paid more than that. Some of your lowest performing players getting maybe 2 or 3 million a year. And I don't understand why men had this problem. But I get it. Everybody got an opinion. I'm not mad at that. Now let's move it on. The things I've been hearing and people siding with the NBA and trying to keep the women silent and say that they're complaining and crying is suggesting that, you know what? The product is not good. There's a lot going to have to happen. The viewership is not there. And don't nobody want to see it and don't nobody care. And I've been saying it for long. I said, if you say that the WNBA product is not good, you're sadly mistaken. And I've been fighting that battle, for a while behind the scenes. So now we're back to the whole situation where Paige Becker signed a 3-year contract with Unrivaled. The Unrivaled League, if you don't know what it is, real short, it's a 3-on-3 league that happened this spring, winter going into spring, and it was great. It was phenomenal. It was something that was started by Phoenician Collier and Brianna Stewart. They started this thing. They put their money into it. They got investors to put their money into it, and the thing took off. And from what I'm understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reports was suggested that they were scheduled, or the goal was to schedule to earn at least $13 million in earnings. But correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've far past that by accruing $29 million in revenue. We know the WNBA haven't turned a profit in a long time, if ever. But the Unrivaled League was able to turn a profit in their first year. And not only that, these women who sign up for the Unrivaled, they have a stake in the company. So this is a monumental move by Paige Beckers to sign this contract with the Unrivaled League. Y'all, she's going to be making more money in the Unrivaled League than she will in the WNBA. And there's more to come. There's more superstars that have not punched their ticket. We still got Caitlin Clark. We still got Asia Wilson. We still got Kelsey Plum. So that's just to say the least. All right. Moving on from that, let's talk about the WNBA Draft. That's what we're here for. Listen, here, Dallas, Texas, in the Metroplex. Since we're talking about Paige Beckers, yes, we already knew it. But the Dallas Wing Draft won Paige Beckers, the number 1 overall seed. And let me tell you, I think this silenced the doubters that suggested that when she decided that she may be staying, that she may be staying in UConn, and then she decided to come on out. There's been rumblings that she didn't necessarily want to go to the Wings. We don't know. But at the end of the day, she's here. And if I take a look at what the Dallas Wings did as a whole in the whole draft, first of all, I'm going to give the Dallas Wings a draft grade. I think A-, maybe B+ is good. And And I'm gonna tell you why. We're gonna break it down. Obviously, Paige is A+. You're looking at Ezra James. They picked later on in the first round. They had 2 first-round picks. They picked Ezra James from NC State later on, and now you got another guard. So now you got 3 guards. So Ezra James may not get to play right away, maybe coming off the bench. We don't know. They still got to make a roster, but she's a defender. So after getting Paige Beckers, obviously, based on what I'm looking at these draft picks off of the Dallas Wings, they went with some good defense. Getting Madison Scott from Ole Miss. You know, this is the reason why this pick alone, just this pick alone. Now, Madison Scott is a phenomenal defender. We're not going to take nothing away from her. She can score, but her strong suit is defense. Let's just call it what it is, right? This is what kind of got me skeptical about this pick in the second round, because you still had people like Cheyenne Sellers, who's a big guard. You still got people like Tahina Powell, who's a darn good guard. Bree Hall, just to name a few. And these are all relatively big guards. They're not the 5'8", 5. They're in their 6-foot range, right? Tahina Powell may not be as strong as a defender, but Cheyenne Sellers is a defender. Her health may be a little skeptical, but Bree Hall definitely is a defender. And so when you look at some better players, I felt that could have came below, that was drafted, better players than Madison Scott that was drafted below Madison Scott. But I didn't give it a C. I didn't give it a F. I gave or D. I gave it a B- for that alone. We're going to see how this works out. And then they end up their whole draft, they got J.J. Quigley, a guard. So I'm not mad at this Dallas Wing team. When you start looking at, obviously, you got Arika Ogunbowale there. The addition of Dejanay Carrington means a lot. You got the big girl in the middle, Tiara McCowan. So need to get a little better on offense, but she's a big girl. So we got this sewed up. And then you got Dejanay Carrington. For a forward her size, she plays like a big woman. So I am happy with their backcourt. And then you look at the guards you got. You got Paige, you got Arika over on that one, and then you got these other like Madison. She can go between guarding the guard and guarding the forward. So, and then you look at the rest of the team they got over there. So I'm not mad. B+, okay, A-. I'll give them A- for you Dallas Wing fans out there who want to jump on me. No, but CBS actually put out their 2 cents on this whole draft grade. I'm just going to kind of run down what their thoughts were. Now, CBS didn't put them as a collective, right? They just gave the draft grades, grade team by team as they drafted. So I'm going to run that down for you real quick for those of you who are interested in WNBA basketball. So obviously starting out with the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings got A+ for getting Paige Beckers. Seattle Storm went over to France and got the big girl, Dominique Malunga. They gave her a C on that, which I don't understand why. Seattle is in overhaul. I mean, and I know trying to place a Jewel Lord and stuff like that, and I get all that because there were some guards out there, but you still got Skylar, you still got Nneka Ogwumike over there. So so I'm not mad at them. They also drafted Madison Connor in this draft, and they also drafted Jordan Hobbs. So we're not tripping. And they draft the Kansas State girl. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, Kansas State, Madison Connor, all Big 12. So I'm a Big 12 fan, so I'm not mad at that. You got Kansas State for Serena Sudale and Madison Connor for TCU. So I'm not tripping. I like it. I gave them A- on this grade, but we'll see. I don't mind them getting the big girl, right? This is overhaul season, so I'm not tripping on them, right? And then they still got their big forward center, Ezzy McBeggar. So between them two, between the new Dominique Malunga and Ezzy McBeggar, man, they could be the new Twin Towers of the WNBA if there was ever one. I don't know. So I'm not too mad at what Seattle doing because I understand why they did what they did, all right? Moving on to the Washington Mystics, getting Sonia Sidram, and they turned around and had 2 back-to-back picks. So this one was great. They got Sonia Sidram from Notre Dame. Then they turned around and got Kiki Irifian from USC. Man, did they get a little better. Did they get a little better? They couldn't have positioned themselves any better by getting 2 back-to-back picks in the first round. 2 lottery picks at that. So Summer's not too happy with Kiki Irifian giving her a grade B. But, man, listen, everybody got an opinion. And my opinion is this. DC, you're doing the dang thing. So Washington Mystics, man, I appreciate you guys. So that will give you guys an A- on that. Moving on to the 5th round, Golden State Valkyries. Listen, Justice Josie, I can't even say her name. She's from Lithuania. I'm not going to invest too much in this new expansion team with the Golden State Valkyries. I'm just not going to. There's no need to. This team is building a roster right now. You don't have the best pick of the litter, but with the right franchise behind them, being in that city, if you know what I'm talking about, they're going to swing momentum their way in the next, I would give them another 2 years. Things will get swung their way. A lot of these players want to see exactly how this team plays, what the organization is around them, and then you're going to see maybe a lot of people running over there because the field is going to be open. That's just my opinion. All right? And we already talked about Washington mixes. Also, they had Washington Michigan cleaned up. They turned around and got Georgina Amore too out of Kentucky. Phoenix Suns got Anissa Morrow from LSU. I'm not mad at that pick. They're going to add to that. They had some willing and dealing over in the offseason, so their overall look is going to be completely different. But I think this will work. And he also turned around and got Sanaya Rivers from NC State, which I'm not mad about that either. So they're still looking like a contender, even though they have some willing and dealing moving around, but they're still like a contender. The LA Sparks. Now, I am completely excited about what the LA Sparks have got going on. I really am. With their 9th pick, their first pick, they picked Sarah Ashley Barker from Alabama. I did not know anything about this young lady until the tourney. Let's call it what it is. I did not know anything about it. But man, the way she lost the game against Maryland. Well, not she, her team did. But her performance, her grit, her determination, man, she put that whole team on her back. Scoring 45 points, I believe she scored in a double overtime loss to Maryland. But anyway, man, I saw a lot out of this young lady. And going over to LA, you already got Chelsea Plum that left the Aces and went over to LA, who forfeited third. They actually had the number 2 seed, the number 2 pick. They forfeited that to Seattle in order to get Chelsea Plum, which dropped them down to the 9th seed. And now you get another guard with Sarah Ashley Barker. Listen, phenomenal. To add to that LA squad over there, I'm looking at what they got going on over in LA. So in this draft, you already got Sarah Ashley Barker. You get Sanaya Fegan from South Carolina, and you know what type of stuff she's on because you can't be in any type of Don Staley program and not have some type of IQ. And that's what this young lady brings is heavy IQ. So that is already phenomenal in its best right there. I mean, it's phenomenal. And then you got Liatu King from Notre Dame, who may be a year or two out. I don't know. But to add, you're looking at Sarah, who I'm going to believe is going to play right away. And you're looking at Sanaya Fegan, who's going to play right away. You still got Kelsey Plum, Derricka Hemby, Rakia Jackson, and then the big girl, Ezra Stevens. Listen. I don't know what other folks may be looking at, but L.A., y'all about to bring some championship pedigree back to the city of LA for the women's side. We know what the men can do. But for the women, for the Sparks, yeah. I'm liking what I'm seeing, man. So let's round this thing on off, man. You're looking at Chicago Sky, getting the girl from Slovenia for their first round pick. I can't even say her name. Ajasa Savaka. That's how you say her name. Forgive me, but she's from Slovenia. And if we know anything about some of these Slovenian or ex-Soviet Union players, they know how to ball. So we're going to see if that's going to add to Chicago Sky. And then they get a girl from TCU, Haley Van Lith. Wow, man. Look. With Haley Van Lith, Chicago Sky got what they need in the point guard. Straight up. So they didn't make the playoff. They was there towards the end of the season, and they fell off with the last couple of games. We all seen that our girl Angel Reese got hurt. But man, this team, they gonna be something to reckon with. They're gonna be something to reckon with. So I'm not even mad. All right. So let's go in the second round. Just going to call it out. You're looking at the Las Vegas Aces. They get the 4 from Alabama, Aaliyah Nye. Minnesota Lynx end up getting Anastasia Olarikusa from Russia. There's another. Wow, crazy. Chicago Sky get the 4 from Notre Dame, Maddie Westbeld. We already talked about the Golden State Valkyries against Cheyenne Sellers went to the Valkyries. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Shania Sellers, like I said, I wanted her. I thought she would be a good guard for the Wings, but they left her sitting there. But now she's going to an expansion team. If she would have got picked by any other of the current teams, she may not have a chance to start right away. Only due to her health. Let's call it what it is, right? But with this new expansion team, and she can go ahead and get back ready, they're going to play in about a month or so. So maybe not at the beginning of the season, hopefully towards the end of the season, she can actually take over as their franchise point guard. For what I've seen with her, in Maryland, showing out there. All right, everybody want to know what Indiana Fever did. They went and got the Makuya Timpson, the forward out of Florida State. And they also went and got Bree Hall, my girl out of South Carolina. Man, look, that's so unfair. I mean, you already got Caitlin Clark. You already got some balls over to Indiana. And I get Michaela Timpson, right? But I'm looking at Bree Hall, a defender, big girl. And you already got Aaliyah Boston over there. So, I mean, yeah, this team is looking a little scary. They made it to the playoffs, got knocked out first round, but they let them know this ain't gonna be this easy the second time around. I'm letting you know. Caitlin Clark's second year in the league, she said, I'm coming. So we're gonna see how far she drives this thing, right? The Chicago Sky in their second round pick ended up getting Achaya Cooler Bailey. I don't know, the guard from Texas A&M. I've seen a little bit of play, not too much familiar, but see a little play. The Washington Mix picked Lucy Olsen from Iowa. The Minnesota Lynx picks Diella Daniels from Washington. The Connecticut Suns picks Rhea Marsh from USC. Third round, let's go through this real quick. Seattle Storms pick, we already talked about them picking Serena Sedell. We already talked about Dallas Wayne picking JJ Quinterly. We already talked about the Sparks picking the Latu King. The Storms, we already talked about them picking Madison Corner. The Valkyrie ended up getting Kaden Shin from UConn. The Dallas Wings also had another pick. They got the Arenetto Von Lett from Baylor. And the Mixers got Zell Green from Alabama. Indiana Fever also got Yvonne Ejim from Gonzaga. And then we are talking about Seattle Storm getting Jordan Hobbs from Michigan. And then the Aces get Harmony Turner out of Harvard. That's what's up. Then the Atlanta Dream getting Torrey Theory. Minnesota Lynx with the 37th pick, end up getting Audrey Griffin. And New York Liberty end up getting Ajak Kane from France. And there we have it. If I missed anything, y'all please forgive me. But the main teams I was looking at, right, was LA, Dallas, and Seattle. Those are the main teams I was looking at. But I was keeping a close eye on Chicago and Iowa for a lot of reasons. And then also Golden State Valkyrie. I just wanted to see how they're going to pick. But I knew what they was going to do because we already had their pre-draft draft to go get people on their team, whatever that means, right? But anyway, let's move on to the NBA real quick. Here we are. The playoffs for the NBA season is here, and we have these weirdly but crazy, somewhat entertaining play-in games. This play-in system is here to stay. It's been a few years now. We should be used to it, but I don't know. I don't know. The ideal is to get these teams to continue to play down the stretch. The ideal is to try to quit this load management, and I totally understand. But to fight for the 7th, 8th best records, have to fight for the 7, 8 with the 9 and 10, it's still somewhat weird to me. But it is what it is. So here it is right now. You have the 7 and 8 seed on the east side with the Heat and the Bull. And then you have the 7 and 8 with the I'm sorry, I'm wrong way. Forgive me. 7 and 8 on the east side, you have the Hawks and the Magic, and the 7 and 8 on the west, you have the Grizzlies and the Warriors. This play-in goes to this. The winner out of 7 and 8 punch their ticket, they automatically clinch the 7th seed. The loser out of the 7-8 game goes on and play the winner out of 9 and 10 game. So basically this. The 7 and 8 guys have 2 chances to punch their ticket into the playoffs, while the 9 and 10 only have 1. They have to win 2 to get in. So 7 and 8, they get 2 chances to win one of those, and you get in. But the 9 and 10 has to win 2 back-to-back games in order to get to that 8th spot. And there you have it. We cleared that off. And so my prediction is this. I am hoping that the Orlando Magic knock down the Atlanta Hawks. Why? Because I'm an Orlando Magic fan. As simple as that. I ain't got no sports theory for you. I'm a fan of Orlando, and I want them to win that game. Same way when it comes down to Golden State and Memphis. I want Golden State to win because I'm a Golden State fan. That's all it is to it. Ain't no X's and O's. It ain't no who match up with all that stuff. This is EC22 you're talking to, the Fair Weather Fan, and I judge a lot of this stuff based on my emotions. So let's leave it there. On Wednesday, that's when you got the 9 and 10 of the East going, the Heat and the Bull versus the 9 and 10 in the West with Dallas and Sacramento. I'm not a fan of the Heat because the situation surrounded Jimmy Butler, and I know a lot of it was on Jimmy Butler's fault, but it is what it is. I haven't been a fan of Chicago Bulls once since Jordan, and then 2 since Derrick Rose, and that's pretty much it. So I really have no heavy stake in these two teams. So whoever win, whoever lose, I don't care. But on the West side, I have heavily invested in Dallas Mavericks. I don't believe the Dallas Mavericks will win this game, not because they can't, because they probably choose not to. Just call it what it is. I don't think they're going to come up for this game. But I would love them to see them win this game. So, there you have it. If they win this game, then they got to turn around and win against either Memphis or Golden State, and it only gets harder from there. Then you got to turn around and go play the number 1 seed. If you get into this spot, if you beat both those teams and then you turn around and got to go play the number 1 seed, which is Oklahoma, and y'all, this is just too much for one team to handle. Can the Dallas Mavericks beat the Kings yet? But Memphis and or Golden State, nah. Somehow you got to go against OKC, nah. My Mavericks, as much as I hate to say this, it's time. Just go ahead and bow out the whole playoffs. Because we don't want, you don't want to, do what you got to do. Don't listen to me. I'm the Fair Weather Fan. I'm fickle. I'm very fickle. All right. So now, moving on to Friday's game, let's go ahead and just talk about the whole playoff bracket as a whole. So all right, the winner out of the, whoever gets the 8th spot will play the Thunder. We'll leave it at that. And then you got the Nuggets and the Clippers. So first of all, Thunder, whoever they play, will get out of the first round. All right. The Nuggets and the Clippers. I'm going to take Denver, even though I kind of low-key hate on Denver a lot. Not that I don't like Denver, but them firing their coach, Joker winning 3 MVPs when there was other worthy players out there, leaves a just bad stain in my mouth, taste in my mouth. But at the end of the day, I still think the Joker is probably he is the best player in the league, in my opinion, right now. We can sit around and fight all day long. No disrespect to LeBron James, but you got to give it what it is, And if you want to sit around, throw around stats, that's fine. But I'm looking at what I see on the court. He is the best basketball player in the league right now, Nikola Jokic. So with that alone, I'm gonna go with Denver, but not the Clippers. LA and Timberwolves. Do I even have to say anything? Timberwolves ain't got nothing for them Lakers. Not with Luka going over there. And I like how Shannon Sharp said it. He said, when you get to the point that LeBron James is the 3rd best player on the squad, yeah. Oh, you don't know who? Okay, listen. Luka 1, AR-15. Austin Rivers is number 2. The kid has been balling. Let's call it what it is. And then you got LeBron James being number 3. Yeah. This is my dark horse pick to win the whole thing this year. I just got to call it what it is. We'll talk about that later on. All right, and then the Rockets, man, they got to play the winner out of the 9 and 10 seeds. They got to play the winner out of they got to play the 7 seed, whoever's going to come out of that situation, whether it be Memphis or Golden State. So there you have it. Moving on to the East. The Cleveland Cavaliers will play the 8th seed, in which they can beat that 8th seed. It'll be either one of them teams who make it up there. I don't know who it's going to be, but one of them teams they're going to end up winning. Bucks and the Pacers. There's been a lot of talk that the Bucks going to lose this game, and just for argument, I'm going to pick the Bucks. We know Damian Lillard is not on the court; he's not healthy, but I've seen our guy Giannis Antetokounmpo win with less. So therefore, I'm picking the Milwaukee Bucks to beat this Indiana Pacers team, and that's just how I'm going to roll with that. We can fight later on after that. Now the Knicks and the Pistons, I don't know. Kay Cunningham, and then you got the other guys on there, Detroit, and then you turn around, you got our guy in New York, Jalen Brunson, all them guys over there. I don't know. You know, I've never been heavily a favorite fan of neither one of these teams. But if I had to take an emotional pick, I'm going to pick New York just because Jalen Brunson used to be a Maverick. You see how I do on the Fair with the Fan? Ain't got no. Listen, so that's my pick. I'm not going to go any further than that. All right. And then you got the Celtics playing whoever make it to the seventh spot. All right. I'm gonna say this, and I've been saying, I'm gonna keep saying it. The Celtics will not make the Eastern Conference Finals. We can argue about it. Leave comments. But there you have it, folks. That's all I have right now. Now, before I close off on this podcast, I want to throw this in the air. Y'all, I've been podcasting for a little over 4 years now. And I'm the fair weather fan. So I talk about a lot of different teams. I talk about a lot of different players, good or bad. Whoever's on my mind, I'm going to address it. And I'm known to change my mind. It's all heavily invested in how I feel in my emotions at the moment. That's just what that is, and that's how I see it. All right? With that being said, I don't get a lot of comments interacting with a lot of my videos. Doing the live podcasting, yes, because that's what it's there for. A lot of comments coming. We appreciate that. Keep doing that. But on my YouTube videos, particularly, when I do videos and I post them on YouTube, there's not a lot of engagement. Sometimes people put a thumbs up or whatever. And then if I got some friends or family that like the video, not necessarily get into the details of the video, but support me by just giving me a little comment to add to the algorithm, I appreciate that. But never really fully engaged comments. Until I made one comment about LeBron James in a video that wasn't even about LeBron James. Anybody that knows me, if you see behind me, I'm a Jordan fan. Shoes all over the place. And so when I made a video suggesting that Jordan is going to forever be my GOAT, oh, did you, LeBron James fan, come out and hinged it? And then when I made a follow-up video just expressing you why me, EC22, the Fat with the Fan, does not have LeBron James at his top, oh, it went even deeper. And from then on, if I say anything about LeBron James that I dislike, or if you mention LeBron James in a way that others don't like, or you simply just don't love LeBron James like other people don't like, people want to throw out there, oh, you hating on him. Why? How is it if somebody got an opinion about LeBron James that may not be the opinion you want to hear, it's got to come across as hate? Because like I said, I've talked about a lot of players and coaches and teams on my podcast, and ain't nobody had nothing to say. But the moment I say something about LeBron James, all of a sudden you guys going to come unhinged and want to take personal shots. And listen, I'm here for it. I am not mad at it. I am not shying away from it from nowhere. From nobody. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to do it to talk about LeBron James just to get clicks. That ain't the way I roll. But if I have an agenda, if I have a show that I'm producing, and somehow LeBron James' name has to be brought up because that's what we're talking about, it is what it is. And I've heard people say it, and it may sound like a personal jab to some of my friends out there who said this to me personally, but I'm going to throw it out there. When they say it's annoying that people always looking for ways to hate on LeBron James, I totally get that. I understand why you're saying it. Did this man get a lot of unfair scrutiny? Of course he does. He's arguably one of the greatest players in the NBA history. So with that is going to come extra eyes on you. People going to put the microscope on you. They're going to look for every spot and blemish. They're going to look for every defect. They're going to call it out. That's what being one of the greatest has. That's what it's all about. I'm sorry. That's what today's media is all about. But what's more annoying then people seem like they're looking for reason to discredit LeBron James or to be petty or nitpick at LeBron James. What's more petty than that is the LeBron James fans assuming everything that's said about LeBron James is negative. That's what's annoying. You guys not going to handcuff us at all. If we want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. And if you don't like our take, you don't like our take. I've said on many of platforms that I like LeBron James. I ain't got no problem with it. But it's just unfortunate when we get into the GOAT conversation, man, listen, Jordan is my GOAT. There is nothing that LeBron James can do to make me change my mind about the GOAT. All right? Now, I know this probably just ripped some of you guys up right now. Some of you guys are probably either clicked off or already typing in the feed right now, and I appreciate it. Let the algorithm roll. All I ask you to do, if you're going to leave a comments, don't be nasty. But, you know, some of you guys will. It is what it is. Now, let me just walk back something real quick before I end this show. LeBron James do have a chance. There is a small chance that I'm willing to consider to move him up from the current spot I got him in, which is number 6 on my list. Yeah. Jordan, number 1. Shaq, number 2. Kobe, number 3. Magic Johnson, number 4. Steph Curry, number 5. And then LeBron James, number 6. That's how I have it. All right? It's my pick. But he has the potential to jump from 6 all the way to 1 if he does this. If he happens to win this year's NBA Finals MVP, and his son happens to play in any one of those games and score, I will consider moving LeBron James to the top of the list along with Michael Jordan. That's all I have for you. If that don't happen, in that way, he get to the finals, win MVP, and that's not a hard task because you got Luke over there. He has to get to the finals this year, win the finals, and be finals MVP, and his son got to play at least one of those games and get a score in the finals game, not throughout the playoffs, in the particular finals game. Then I would consider possibly moving LeBron James up to that spot. But other than that, he ain't got a chance. This your boy EC22, the Fair Weather Fan Channel, man. Thank you for watching. Please, once again, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation, and we are out.